Today, I'm going to be reviewing you guys my NBA 2K24 build. Now, this build can do some insane things. This build gets all the pro contact dunks and has amazing finishing all around. But on top of that, this build is able to shoot from anywhere. I mean, you guys can just see from these clips. And at 6'9", this build is dribbling like this. I just think that is insane. But on top of all of that, this build has almost maxed out physicals and great defense and rebounding. This is gonna be one of the most all-around builds, best balanced builds you've ever seen on this game. And if you're gonna make this build, make sure to drop a like and make sure to subscribe. But with all that being said, let's get straight into it. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Aurzyn, and today we are going to be creating my first NBA 2K24 build. Now, I spent a decent amount of time in this builder and I kind of knew what I wanted going into it, but in this video I'm going to explain exactly what you guys need to do to find your own build, or if you want to make my build, you guys can obviously do that as well. But because of the custom builder, you might want to modify it a little bit to suit your playstyle a little bit more, but I'll kind of give you guys my thought process and help you guys make the perfect build for you. Now, to start off, your handedness and your jersey number do not matter. I'm just going to go with right-handed and number 8, but it doesn't matter. It's just your preference. You can do whatever you want. Now, when you get to this screen, you may get a little bit overwhelmed. It looks really confusing. You see all these badges, all these attributes, and all of that, but you just need to remember your playstyle. You're going to make a guard. You're going to make a center. For me, I like to make tall centers that can dribble. That's just my play style. I like to do that because, you know, I'm still versatile, but I'm also a center and I can still do all the center things. So for me and my build, it's going to be power forward, and we're going to keep the height at 6'9". Now, I was debating between 6'9" and 6'10", but when you go 6'10", you don't get as long of a wingspan in order to still get the strength and speed with ball requirements. You guys can see if I go down right here, this is like the only way to do it, but then I only have like a shorter wingspan and I don't really like that much. Also, 6'10s don't get speed booster, but the 6'9 does. So moving back down to 6'9", we put the weight all the way down to 221. I found that it's the best weight for me, specifically because it still allows me to get the strength I need and also the 72 speed with ball. That's what we need for speed booster. Now, the wingspan, I almost went max, but I took it down 1 from max because 78 3-pointer gives you silver green machine instead of bronze. So I wanted to get that silver green machine. And so that's why I went with 7'6". But again, this is all stuff that can be suited to like your own play style. This is going to fit my play style. If you want to make my build, I mean, that's probably why you're watching this video, but it's all stuff that can be tweaked a little bit if you wanted to. Now, moving on, when I get into the build, this is something I like to do every time I go to make a new build. I know attributes I specifically want, and then I upgrade those and then I work around them. So for me, my main driving stat that I want is driving dunk, and I want a 90 because that way I can get all of the pro contact dunks. You need an 89 for all the pro contact dunks, but you guys can see when I go up to 90, I get gold precision dunker. So now that we kind of have our finishing, like, you know, a baseline for it, I have my driving dunk, we're gonna move on to shooting. I'm definitely getting a 78.3. That's the bare minimum I'm willing to do. Mid-range can be adjusted later. Now, the same thing for playmaking. It's gonna be max ball handle and max speed with ball, but pass accuracy can be adjusted later. And for defense, it's gonna be interior defense up to an 82, because that point you get, I believe, silver or gold post lockdown, which is what I want. I need to upgrade my strength first, so we'll go do that so you guys can see. Upgrade our strength, and you know, we have silver post lockdown. I think I only want an 84 strength, but there we go. Next thing obviously is going to be our block. Our block's super important as a big man, so we're going to put that to 87 to get silver anchor, and we're also going to get silver chase down when I upgrade my vertical, but we're not doing that yet. And then obviously defensive rebound, that's really important. We're gonna put that up to 85 for gold box out and silver rebound chaser. Now for our physicals, I need max acceleration. Acceleration is so important, so we're gonna max that. And for speed, we're gonna put this up to 75 for our bronze speed booster. Speed is important, but not quite as important as acceleration. Obviously, my acceleration stat is lower than my speed, and we do have a few technically more attributes that we can put on, but I just don't think it's worth it. So we're going to keep it at 75 speed. Now, obviously, in order to get contact dunks with that 90 driving dunk, both pro contact dunks, we need at least a 78 vertical. So we're going to go ahead and put our vertical to 78, and we're going to go ahead and max our stamina all the way up to 98 right there. So you guys can see I'm a 90 out of 99. This is kind of like my baseline build. These are the stats I absolutely need. And now I have those 9 potential overalls that kind of, you know, mess with the build a little bit, add some more attributes, some attributes I want, but I don't necessarily need, stuff like that. You guys get what I'm saying. So the first thing I want to go ahead and do is upgrade our defense a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and put our steel up to a 60 right here. And we are going to put our perimeter defense up to a 75. Now with a 75, that gives us bronze challenger and bronze clamps. That's going to be plenty good for our center build, and that's going to allow us, you know, switch onto guards. You know, we're not going to be guarding guards too often, but it's going to allow us to switch on guards. And the 60 steel is going to give us bronze interceptor. It's going to allow us to play some lanes, not too many. We're not going to be reaching too much off the ball. That's not really my play style, but the 60 steel is going to allow us that bronze interceptor, which is really, really helpful. Now moving on, the next few stats that I wanted to upgrade, I wanted to look at mid-range, but mid-range I also wanted to look at with post control. Those are 2 stats that I wanted together, because that's going to allow me to get post fade phenom and a lot of the badges that you need for being like a post scorer almost. Not really, but like I kind of wanted to get like some of the badges to be able to shoot post fades and, you know, drop step a little bit. So having post control is very, very helpful. And so for me, I set that at 75 because you guys can see that gives a silver back down, silver drop stepper, silver post spin. And when we go and upgrade our mid range all the way up to 79 here, you guys are going to see it gives us silver midi magician, and it's also going to give us gold post fade phenom, which is what we really were looking for. And with that, we are a 97 overall. Now with this build, I didn't quite want to have just that low of a standing dunk, so I went and upgraded my standing dunk to a 73. Now you guys are going to see that's going to give me rise up on bronze and fast twitch on bronze, and it's not too crazy of a standing dunk where I'm going to be like dunking on people. But if I'm open, or even if there's someone somewhat near me, I'm still going to be able to dunk the ball while standing under the basket. I think that's a really helpful thing to have. And again, it's not too expensive. I think that's one thing you guys will realize when you're making builds. It's not too expensive to upgrade stats from like 25 to 60 to 70. But when you start upgrading stats from like 80 to 90, that's where it gets really, really expensive. So if you cut down on your stats that you have around 90 and get a bunch more around 80, it's much better use of your badge, or it's a much better use of your attributes in my opinion. So looking at what's next, I think my pass accuracy is a little bit low here. So I went ahead and put that all the way up to 57 right here. You can see it goes all the way up to 59, but I put it up to 57 and I put these last 5 on offensive rebound, and I put 5 more on offensive rebound to put it to a 50 right here, and put the last few on free throw just to put it to a 57 like that. And that right there is my final build. Now, as you guys can see, this build is super well rounded. There's not really any holes. If I was gonna admit to there being a hole, I think pass accuracy maybe a tiny bit low, as well as maybe close shot and offensive rebound be a little low. But you guys can see I really like to have almost all my stats be like 50s, 60s, 70s. And you guys can see every single stat on this build besides pass accuracy, close shot, and offensive rebound are at least like 60 pretty much. At least 60. Steal is 60. And the lowest one after that I think is 69 acceleration, which I just think makes this build so well-rounded. And again, this is for basically a center build. For being 6'9", it's probably gonna be a good 1s build, good 2s build, maybe even a good 3s build. And I think this build just allows for so much versatility, and you know, that's why I went ahead and made it. Like I said, I had the option to also go 6'10", but I went through the options and I found that 6'9" was probably gonna be better. So that's what I went to. But I don't know, I think this build is really, really well rounded. It gets a bunch of badges just on like bronze at least, and a bunch on silver as well. Now that may not be what you guys are after, but I think having more badges but like bronze and silver is better than having like a few like very little badges but like on gold and Hall of Fame. And you guys can see I still get some Hall of Fame badges and some gold badges, but it's so hard to get a balanced build in this builder. A build that can do it all, you know, like this build, really a build that can do it all is almost impossible to make in this build. You're going to be sacrificing at least one category, but I think this build right here really encompasses it, and it just does a great job at being very, very well rounded. Now hitting continue, you guys are going to see the shades of, I believe it's Paolo Banchero and Aaron Gordon and Al Harrington right there. So not the best, not the worst. I don't really know if that's really good. I don't think it really matters. But the build name is going to be a 3-level threat, which I don't know how you guys feel about the name. I think it's pretty cool name. Let me know what you guys think about that name in the comments though, and let me know what you guys think about this build. If you think it's ass, you know, you could say it's terrible in the comments. You know, I'm not gonna complain about that. But if you think it's good, make sure to drop a like on this video. And if you're gonna make this build, obviously you gotta subscribe to see all the animations that I'm gonna put on it. and, you know, to see what floor centers I'm going to use and all the stuff like that, a jump shot. So you guys got to make sure to subscribe to get all that. I'm going to be dropping videos probably throughout the week for this build specifically. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm out, man. Peace.